Hello everyone, yet another episode of Shifting Gears is right here. I welcome you all. Thank you very much for joining in. And today we will talk to Lexus India MD, P.B Venugopal. Yes, he's going to be joining us from a short while from now. In fact, in a short while from now. In fact, what's interesting is that, as you know, Lexus is the luxury brand of the Toyota group, and it came to India some time back, and now it has been ever since we've seen the brand has been slowly and steadily increasing its its presence in the Indian market with many launches that it has lined up already, and some of them have already come in, and there are more to go. But we understand about Lexus's India journey so far, and more importantly the outlook from the India MD, P.B Venugopal. Venu-san will be joining us soon, as I said, and we will of course discuss with him about the entire journey of the Lexus brand. But just to give you a few interesting points, or did you know, or trivia facts about Lexus, which I thought will be of interest to you guys, is the fact that Lexus India is one of the four countries, while Lexus is present in more than 90 countries worldwide. India is the fourth country where we actually have Lexus assemble their cars. So India clearly is a very, very important market for Lexus from here on. What's also important is to know with what dexterity and with what precision the workers work on the car. We've in fact been to their home base and have seen up close and personal of how small little details are taken care of while each of the car is made. So we'll get you all these interesting points here as we go along and as we chat. Of course, Mr. Venugopal will be joining us now, and I guess we're trying to just reach out and see if he's already come and is ready to join us. We shall bring him in the conversation. Okay, so he will be joining in a short while, as I've been just told by my team guys. But you would have any questions about Lexus, about Toyota, not Toyota exactly, I don't think Venu-san will respond to that, but yeah, about Lexus, some of the products or the launches or the models that you're waiting for, any more details about what they're up to, you can please feel free to put the question right in this chat box. Alright, I can see Lexus India has joined, which is okay. Can I get you on the call somehow? So put your questions there. We will take them all as we go along. Questions about the company, the brand. Venu-san, hi.
Yes, hi, Swati-san. How are you?
How have you been, and how has been the lockdown effect on you?
Yeah, it's been a very challenging situation. As you all know that it's very difficult time for the entire world. And one good thing is that as a community, we are getting better to support each other. And health and safety is the most important part. And personally as well as professionally, we are trying to support as many communities as possible so that we come out of the situation very strong.
Okay.
Coming to the industry, as you know that the luxury is the most impacted segment. And the first 2 months have been very severe when the lockdown started. And post June, July, situation is getting better. And our focus has been on our guest as well as our dealership team to make situation much safer for the guest.
Okay, so tough times, challenging times, luxury segment hit the most because of the 6 months period of COVID and the intensity at which it has grown, and it's still growing, which is, I think, still worrisome. But Venu-san, give me a sense of how things were, let's say, in March to how things are now, And what has been now the change in strategy to sort of sail through the year? Because, this pandemic just came about, nobody knew, and it took everyone by surprise, and it has, you know, toppled everyone's plans to good extent. What about Lexus India? I mean, how are you dealing with it? Has there been any specific or important change in your strategy from here on?
Yeah, so before I speak about Lexus, I think I need to speak about the industry a bit. And before even we speak about this year, as you know, that the entire automobile industry itself was going through difficult times, and
Yeah.
the recovery was very slow, and the luxury market was impacted a lot much before the COVID itself. But coming specifically for Lexus, as we all know that you were also part of us when we made this important announcement in January. So as on 31st of January this year, we made an important announcement about the local production of the ES in India. And that was actually a very big moment, personally for me as well as for the entire Lexus team, both in India as well as globally, because India became the fourth country in the world to start producing Lexus. And among the 90 countries, 90 odd countries which are actually selling Lexus globally. So why this has happened is because of the initiatives in line with Make in India, as well as the Skill India. So we sent our team to Kyushu 6 months in advance to train them, and there was a lot of confidence from Lexus International about the skill that was available in India to manufacture Lexus to the global level. So we had a very good response of the years. Of course, this COVID was a big dampener for us. And we had also announced the launch of the Lexus Coupe, the LC 500H, on 31st of Jan. So post the lockdown, so the 2 months, that is March end to nearly to the June first week, absolutely it was very tough times. This was the time where we put our heads together and we decided that the best way to move forward is to be positive, and there is no change in our business strategy from a mid to long term point of view. We are staying committed to India, and we will continue to invest in our country. And that is where we also announced the expansion plan in the 4 other cities. Now, currently, we are in Delhi, Mumbai, and Bangalore. We also announced the expansion in Hyderabad, Chennai, Kochi, and Chandigarh. So that plan will also move forward. Only thing, there will be a kind of a delay, a couple of months delay because of this COVID situation, because of our the migrant workers and laborers which are moved to the hometown and slowly coming back to the cities. So the workers got
Okay.
started. Yeah. So to summarize, we remained positive. We started a campaign called We Can We Will. It's a hope initiative to engage our Lexus relationship managers to a guest. The guests were the focal point, and no change in our announcement plans. We will continue with a positive note, and we stay committed to the Indian market.
Okay, so that's good news for people who love the brand here in India, that the company is committed to the Indian market. Your plan remains as is. Of course, there's been a bit of a delay here and there, which is, I think, part and parcel. Everyone's been talking about it. But 4 new dealerships will open. Tell us about these dealerships that are likely to open. What is the new timeline now? When do we see, your products reaching these dealerships?
Yeah, currently, we are operating out of 7 cities. So already we are operationals with our team in place, the Lexus relationship managers and camp
Yes.
managers. So the facilities which are supposed to come up during the by end of this year will get delayed to somewhere during the month of March to April, May 2021. So then we will see a delay of 4 to 5 months. So the cities that we will be focusing on, other than Delhi, Mumbai, and Bangalore, will be Chennai, Hyderabad, Kochi, and Chandigarh. So this is where our guest experience centers, along with the authorized service corners, will be in place.
Okay, people are already writing in and saying, please try building the cars here in India, which would further decrease the cost, basically localize it and make it more competitive. We love Lexus, and a lot of people are already saying they're big fans of the brand Lexus. So you want to tell them that you already are assembling to some extent, and basically they want to know, when will these cars become more affordable?
Yes.
You want to respond to that?
Yeah, so that's actually the biggest strength that has been for us. Before we are just 3 years old in the Indian market, and the biggest confidence that we have is the kind of support that we are getting from our Lexus guests, and also the Lexus Intenders. And the brand has been so supportive and it has been well received by the Indian market. And there were two hypotheses that we made before the launch of Lexus in India. So one was we know that the many customers from the Toyota stable were moving to the luxury segment, which is outside our family. And we assumed that definitely about 70 to 80% of those customers will be coming to the Lexus family. And today, when we revalidate the hypothesis after 3 years, we see that there are about 78% of these customers have been from the Toyota stable. The second hypothesis that we made is most of the vehicles, that is barring our flagship SUV, all our vehicles are luxury vehicles, which are self-charging hybrid electric vehicles. So I will quickly move to the second hypothesis. So we were mentioning that one of the main purchase reason for Lexus would be the self-charging hybrid electric vehicles. And we thought that 60% of the customers would be looking at the hybrid vehicles as a reason for purchase. But today, when we revalidated, it is a slightly more than 60 to 70%. So which clearly shows that the luxury customers are very conscious and they are looking at responsible luxury. And that is where we strongly believe that we are here together as a community to look at building a better tomorrow. So how to craft a better tomorrow of all of us in the luxury industry, along with our customers. And you would also read that today, if something which is very positive that has happened because of COVID, it is the environment. It's become much cleaner. And we can maybe in middle of Delhi, we can possibly see the Himalayas, which has never happened long time. So that gives us the confidence that our vehicles, which is hybrid electric vehicles, which contributes to the environment, and we also make our customers carbon neutral by planting equal number of trees in association with grow trees. So this is something which we feel that as a corporate, that we are also socially responsible, and that is how we are building our brand as well.
Okay, I'll come to the launches part in a bit because a lot of people are already asking about possible models that could come to India. When are they coming to India? We'll come to that. But let me, of course, LFA. I also want to know from Venu-san, when is LFA coming to India? I got the great opportunity to drive one of that at one of your circuits, to Suzuka, if I'm not wrong. Toyota had taken us and we'd driven that. So that's one of the fond memories I have. But anyway, LFA, so we'll talk about the launches in a bit. But let me just ask you about the hybrid point that you were making. Now people are slowly and surely accepting electric vehicles / hybrid products, and they're ready to sort of make that leap and jump and buy these products. Even from the government's end, we are seeing, that notification which came out sometime back about 2, 3, and 4-wheelers now. The manufacturers have a choice, or the consumers have a choice to buy the batteries outside of the OEM and, put it or use it in their vehicle. So that's a very important change towards acceptance of electric vehicles that's coming along, be it the government side or even the at the personal level, at the mass level. What is your sense? I know you've been a big advocate of hybrid, and you always say that EV, before we go to EV, we have to get to hybrid, and then the ultimate goal could be EV or hydrogen fuel or whatever. But what's your stand when you talk about hybrid versus and electric?
So before we speak specifically from Lexus point of view, let's look at our country. If you see, 7 out of the 10 most polluted cities in the world are from our country, which is not a good sign. So one way of moving forward is the government direction. The government direction is very clearly to move towards environment-friendly vehicles, and that is why this electrification strategy is coming in. So from Lexus point of view, we strongly believe that before moving to complete electric vehicles, the best step forward, considering the current infrastructure that is available in the country, is the self-charging hybrid electric vehicle. So that is why, even though we had options, but from the time of launch in March 2017, we brought in our complete range of vehicles, which are self-charging hybrid electric vehicles, whether you take the executive sedan, the luxury sedan, the NX, the RX, and even the LC500H, which we have launched, which is the Lexus Coupe, which is the flagship model, which is also the self-charging hybrid electric vehicles, which you had an experience when you visited along with us in Kyushu. So what we strongly believe is that as part of the Lexus electrified strategy, so the best put forward is the self-charging hybrid electric vehicles. Yes, and as you have also seen the concept vehicle, the LF30, and this is something which is the future direction, which also gives us confidence that Lexus moves into the electrified strategy step by step. And definitely, India is a very important market for us. And we will plan as and when the time is appropriate and when the infrastructure is ready.
Okay, fair enough. So that's the plan as far as electric goes. Hybrid, of course, right now you already have quite a lot of options available for people to look at. But now tell me, in terms of the product strategy, I know you have already rolled out some of them initially, and January, of course, as we just discussed in the beginning of our conversation, of the 4 products that you showcased. What are their timelines? Could you tell us when is some of these cars, or more than those 4 cars that were talked about, what are the next possible pipeline that one could look out for? One of the questions was about IS. When is that possibly coming? There were a few more models that people want to know, which are flagship and important for Lexus. When could they come to India? What is the pipeline looking like, Venu-san?
So the current product portfolio that we have, suppose you take the sedan segment. So we have the executive sedan where we have announced the made in India. And we have also started supplying the vehicles which has been locally produced. And this is coming out with a suspension which is actually made specific to India. So the guest response have been extremely good. Then we also have the luxury sedan, both of them being self-charging hybrid electric vehicles. In the SUV segment, we already have the NX, we already have the RX, and then we have the LX. The LX is the only one where we are offering in the petrol. And the LC500H, which was announced on 31st of January this year. So if you see that we almost have the complete range, except for the compact segments in the sedan, which is the IS, and then also the UX, which is the compact SUV. Currently, we are studying, and we have not made any decision of launching this product in India. So the current portfolio will continue, and so whenever we are going to be ready, and I'm sure that our media friends will be the first to know about it, and we will definitely keep our guests updated on the LF is too early to say, because I think it's still a concept, and then we have to strengthen the current portfolio that we have in India and catering to our guests in the various cities that we are in, and also to the cities that we are expanding. And so we have still not looked at the electrified LF study in India as of now.
ES300, one of our people who are watching this, Abhibaya, he's saying that ES300 needs an upgrade, no touchscreen too, which is, there in the basic cars. What do you have to say? Is there any upgrade expected?
I would love to interact with them and possibly have an opportunity to interact with them, and I'm sure I would love to discuss with them along with the car. So I think it's very difficult to explain. For us, it is just not a transportation. It is all transporting the emotions.
Okay, so you'd like to chat with whoever is putting questions about the car. You're happy to.
Yes, every guest is extremely important for us, and for us, every guest is an ambassador for Lexus. So
okay, fair enough. That's a great way to look at things. So you talked about the launches, and you've talked about the products that are in the offing, or some products that you will be looking to bring to the Indian market. But tell me, Venu-san, are you really convinced that people have understood what Lexus stands for by and large? I mean, the way people look at BMW, Mercedes, Audi, those brands people are more aware of them. Lexus is a more subtle brand, of course, very powerful. People who know it realize, understand its, its significance. But do you think people understand the brand as much as you want them to?
Yes, if you look back the last 3 years, whatever we have received, the kind of responses that we have received is much better or even more than what we had actually expected or planned for. So that itself is a positive sign that the brand has been well received. And our brand is talking about just not the transaction, it is not about selling, but it is about the amazing guest experience, not the delivery or the selling experience, but the complete ownership experience. So, yeah, one is the product offering, which gives the amazing comfort and experience to our guests. Another is the ownership experience. If you look at the cost of
Right.
ownership, so we have taken the last 3 years data, and our customers have been extremely happy with the kind of competitive cost of ownership and the quality of service that's been offered at the 8 authorized service corners that are there in the country. So this actually gives us a lot of confidence. And we at Lexus believe that we are not in the automobile business, we are in the people's business. So we are here to build lifetime relationship with our guests. So this is going to happen slowly and step by step. And if you see the guests who there are already repeat purchase of Lexus that has been happening, and there has been a huge amount of reference that is happening in the social circle of our existing guests. So that is the confidence with which me and my team can proudly say that Lexus has been receiving an overwhelming response in the last 3 years, more than what we had actually expected.
That's great news. So you've done better than what you had expected. People recognize it, and it's word of mouth, repeat customers that you're getting, which essentially shows that there is so much in the brand that people really love it and they want to come back to it even more strongly. What is your next milestone or the target that you've set out, Venusan? You, of course, spoke about how you've come around these 3 years with a lot of challenges in the market. It's not been the best of the last 3 years for the automotive sector. But let's say the target for the next couple of years, what are you aspiring for? Where do you see yourself in the overall luxury space? Because that's beaten the most during COVID, and looks like it could take some more time before it recovers.
Yes. You are very right, Swati-san. See, if you see the luxury market is contributing to 1.2% of the passenger car market. And if you look at developed countries, it's already moved to 6% plus, and even some places which are 10% of the passenger car market. So one is our country has got the largest number of young population, and the millennials who are going to really change this world for us with the economy, and this is going to be growing very fast. So barring the impact of COVID, so we see a huge potential for us in the country. And this recovery is not going to be a V-shaped recovery like in the past when we had certain issues, structural issues. But this
Sure.
is going to be a more gradual and W-shaped recovery. So from that point of view, our mid to long-term plan remains unchanged, and we will stay committed, as I mentioned earlier, that we will continue to invest in our country. So from the product launches point of view, we already have the existing product range. The compact segment is still under study. From an expansion from the city point of view, currently we have more than 150 professionals who are taking care of our guests. And from the current 3 cities, we are moving to the additional 4 cities. So there is no change in our immediate plans as well as the change from the mid to long-term point of view. So that's our take on this market.
Okay, that's the take, which is looking strong and promising in the medium to long term, and you're committed to this market. Venusan, it's good to know a big brand, a respected brand like Lexus comes to India and is sailing through well with good acceptance from the consumers end, as well as you said. Lovely speaking with you, and more importantly, okay, one question. Someone says, Lexus, when will they bring ESF Sport in India?
Okay.
So people are going to ask about every possible model, let me tell you.
Okay, so that's very encouraging. So currently we have no immediate plans. So we have the exquisite and also the luxury version of the ES, which is currently under offering and which will continue for some time.
Okay, so no immediate plans. So we'll have to wait before this happens. I think the market has to be a little bit more mature for this, and maybe more volume or numbers could justify it. But right now, okay, Lexus showroom in Goa soon. Someone's hoping you could look at Goa. Is that a possibility?
So how we are operating is we have flying squads, we call it. So we have our Lexus care managers and Lexus relationship managers who are a single point of contact to our guests, since we are building a relationship with our guests on a lifetime basis. So the guest experience center based in Mumbai is currently covering the entire Maharashtra, Goa, and Gujarat, and we are taking care of the customers. Of course, the volumes will have to justify for us to move into further cities. So currently, we will be focusing on the 7 cities that we have announced, and we will gradually evaluate further cities.
Okay, so
But
Goa has been taken care of. Bombay. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, of course. We cannot expect the showroom in every city possibly. Somebody's asked Kerala, but I must say Cochin you've already announced. So I guess that will take care of the Kerala part of you opening up that showroom. It is coming out soon, right? I mean, in a few months from now?
So that should be happening sometime in March, April 2021.
Okay, March, April 2021. So 6 months odd from now. Somebody's also put up a question saying LX 570, internationally costs you about 70, 80 lakh rupees if you see it in the Indian currency terms. But in India, it's 2.4 crores. Why such a big difference? Well, I mean, you will add, of course, but I think it's all about taxes in India, right? You may want to add on to that.
One is the specification, what are we comparing apple to apple, and also about the duties that we are paying. So that's what makes it very expensive in India. We are very conscious about that. And another reason we looked at the local manufacturing of ES.
Will you launch the IS? A lot of people have been asking.
Yeah, so the compact segment we are still studying, Swati-san. So we do not have immediate plans for our country, but we were still working on our study, and we'll keep our guests updated. Yeah.
Okay, so no concrete plans yet, but they will let us know once there is something firm on it. Any limitation on diesel engines after BS6?
So our range is completely self-charging hybrid electric vehicle along with the gasoline engine, and the LX 570 is also with a gasoline engine. That is the only model which does not have a hybrid. So we have we had for some time the LX 450, which was with the diesel engine. So we will continue with our range of self-charging hybrid electric vehicles. So that's our priority.
Okay.
Country, yeah.
Okay. Will you look at launching the UX, the crossover, or NX? Is that a possibility?
So NX we already have. So the UX and the IS is part of our compact study.
Okay, UX and IS both are part of the compact study, so we'll watch out for. That could be some interesting news that, of course, Lexus will tell us, not now, but closer to that timeline. All right, Venusan, it was lovely speaking with you. Is 300 IS 300 Edge okay? I think the questions are getting repeated, so everyone wants to know when are you bringing your compact series. There is clearly a lot of interest generated in that space, as you can see from the questions. But thank you very much for your time and lovely speaking with you. Hope to see you soon. And I guess we are all coming back to times where test driving cars and so on. I think we've all started to go out on field. So, of course, with safety precautions in place, with a lot of sanitization, with a lot of, mask and everything else. Yeah. So look forward to seeing you, sir. Sure. Thank you so much. It was lovely speaking.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Arigato gozaimasu.
Sorry for internet connection. Arigato gozaimasu.
Arigato. Yeah, take care. Bye.
the LF30 concept. This is Lexus, electrified.